Good evening, everybody. This is Tracy. How you doing? I'm going to do a modified version of the Sewn Ideas beauty bag. Just going to show you guys what I have here. Alright, so we have our two zipper strips here. We have our lining for the actual pouch. We have the exterior. This fabric is from Miss Mac Fabric. It's called something step, but I'll get you the name. And then I fused it with fusible fleece on the back. Then we have our two clear vinyls. Usually one side is with vinyl, the other side is just for the makeup brushes, but I don't want to make a makeup bag. I just want to make a bag where you can do add different things to it, like your sewing notions and everything like that. So I'm actually doing both sides with the clear vinyl. These are the two pieces where we connect our magnetic snaps here. We have our lining for the inside of the bag. We have our two exterior. So here in the pattern it says you have to fuse with SF101 or woven fuse, and I use woven fuse too. In the middle is fusible fleece, and then Peltex. And if you notice, the Peltex doesn't go all the way down, and that's due to the bending of the bottom of the bag. I have the bottom of the bag, which I didn't cut out. I apologize, but I'll do that in a few minutes. I have the zipper. It's going to be an orange since it's like a colorful design. Then I have the magnetic snaps. These are from Wholesale Fabrics and Hardware. They're the rainbow kind. And then I have my bag tags. I don't know if it's going to focus so you guys can see. And I'll get you the name where I had these made, but I'm going to have them remade so it's a little bit bigger. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is, before we do anything, I'm going to put these things to the side. We're going to take our zipper strips. I folded in half and folded in half again, and I clipped them so it could kind of stay together. So you are going to take one of your clear vinyls. This is not completely flat because the way Joanne's fabric gave it to me, it was bent. But I try to flatten it as much as I could. And just so you know, when you buy it, just tell them do not roll it or bend it. Just leave it flat if possible. If possible. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is take this piece and we're going to sandwich it in with the zipper strip. And I'm just going to clip in place. Just so you guys can see what I'm doing. Alright, so we're going to sew a 1/8 top stitch here on your machine. And this is domestic friendly, so yes, you can use your domestic machine. And I'm using bonded nylon yellow. I get all my thread from sunnysewingmachines.com. And I have, of course, I have my clips, my rainbow clips from More Me Know. And of course I have my Juki 1541S machine. I bought this back in April and I love it. Alright, so always backstitch at the beginning and the end of your projects. And make sure you keep it as close together as possible. And be careful and don't be like me and stitch through your clips because they will break. So clip the threads, the beginning and the end. Alright, so you should have something like this. Okay? Alright, so now you're going to take your zipper, and I bought this off of Amazon. It's a two-way zipper. So I'm going to start with this end, and when I'm done I'll just pull it up just to see the amount of zipper I need. So you're going to place the zipper strip along the zipper teeth. You don't have to have it as close, but make sure it's close enough and you don't hit the zipper teeth of your zipper tape. So I'm going to backstitch the beginning and the end. And make sure you keep your zipper straight. And you're top stitching at a 1/8 stitch length. So then I'm going to turn it around and do a middle stitch, so I know that it's completely tacked down to the zipper and the plastic, not the plastic, but the clear vinyl. Alright. Clip in the threads. Okay, don't worry about like if your table has little threads on it and stuff. You can always clean it later when the complete bag is done. So far you have something like this. So that means I can pull the zipper all the way to this side. So just wanted to make sure that you know. So this is the back and then this is the front. So now you're going to take one of your lining pieces, which is this, and then you're going to take this piece here. So I'm just going to set that to the side for right now. So this one I'm going to just clip in place just so you guys can see what I'm doing. Alright, so the same way we connected the zipper to the zipper strip, we're going to do the same thing. So the easiest way possible is you're going to kind of lift up this piece and then you're going to slip the zipper underneath. And I'm just going to make sure that my zipper is somewhat centered so that way it catches way in. I'm going to clip it in place. All the way in and clip it in place. And this is so it doesn't move. So far, this is what you have. Make sure that your bottom is completely covered with the clear vinyl. So what we're going to do is we're going to stitch a 1/8 what's the word? I forgot. Stitch length, a 1/8 stitch length across, so it connects the zipper and this portion and the lining all together. And don't forget to, I'm going to do it this way since I have a left hand, well, left foot zipper on. So don't forget to back stitch at the beginning and the end. And you can go slow and make sure that the strip does not move. If it does, just keep it in place. Keep it in place. Alright, so since we're already here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch all the way around so I can stitch the round part to the lining. And when you get to the curves, be very careful. Now, before I complete this, I'm going to pull in my zipper. Okay? I'm going to pull in my zipper. Because then, make sure it's completely closed. Just pull it a little bit in. And then what I'm going to do is, I'm going to back stitch, and then I'm going to stitch the whole entire piece together. Okay? I'm stitching the entire piece together. And when you get to the zipper, I would back stitch maybe once or twice. I'm just clipping. Alright, so right now I have this portion of the zipper left, which I will be using for the other side. Alright, so far this is what we have. Okay, so you have that to open up. Okay, and it doesn't matter which way you have your zipper, it's up to you, it's preference. So make sure you understand that you want your zipper to be a certain way. So if you want your zipper to open here, you can. If you want it to open a different way, it's possible. Okay, so now I'm just going to cut away just the excess. Do not cut too close to the stitch lines. I hate wasting stuff, but that's what the pattern calls for. So hopefully I'll tweak it a little bit so we don't have as much waste, because this is that much waste that we have. So this is one side completed of the inside of the bag. Now we're going to do the same thing to the other side. Okay, so we're going to have the zipper there. Alright, so I'm going to take this strip again, and we're going to stitch it to this piece. So you're going to sandwich it together. I'm going to clip them together. Clip them together. And once again, we're going to do a 1/8 stitch on we're going to do top stitch at a 1/8 inch. Top stitch. It's still new to me. So don't forget to back stitch at the beginning and the end. I was struggling there for a second. And make sure they are put all the way together. Watch your clip. Clip away the threads from the beginning and the end. Alright, so once again we have that. So now we're going to take our zipper. This way. I'm going to do it this way. So since I did it this way, I want them both to be the same. So I'm going to make them both face that way, because I don't want one going one way and the other one going the other way. So once again, make sure the zipper is as close to the teeth, back stitch without touching the teeth of the zipper. But as close to it as possible you can. And back stitch. And then remember, I did that middle stitch. So I'm going to do that as well. That out the way. All right, so then we're going to take our lining piece again, and we're going to attach this to it first. So let's clip it in place first. Clip it in place. And then we are going to sandwich the zipper underneath this side panel as close as possible. You can maneuver it, so make sure that your lining is completely under the clear vinyl. So kind of shift it if you have to. I'm going to clip it in place. Almost lost the clip there. Just so it doesn't move. And then you're going to do the same thing. You're going to do a 1/8 top stitch here. And then we're going to go around, put in your zipper, and then we're going to stitch around the panel. That's me hitting the camera. I apologize. Alrighty. So once again, back stitch at the beginning and the end. Move your clips so they don't break. And then I'm going to go around. Be careful with the curves, and which is basting loose. Now don't forget, when you get towards the end, you need to pull in your zipper. If you already have your zipper in, that's fine. But pull in your zipper, and then we're gonna stitch it closed. Because then it becomes a pocket. And remember, at the zipper part, I do 2 back stitch. And now we're stitching it together. Zipper part, I like to back stitch 1 or 2 times because that secures your zipper in. So go ahead and clip away the excess, not too much near the stitch line. Once again, you have excess, but hey, it's okay. Alright, so we do have this left over. I might use it for a different project, but that's okay. Alright, so now we have 2 of the panels completed. This is the modified version because one side you had to do the makeup part and the other side was just for the pocket part. And if you notice, they're both pockets and I like that. Okay, just so you guys can see. And we closed the ends, so that means the zipper will not go away. Alright, so now the next thing we're going to do is apply the magnetic snaps. So in my pattern, I have the piece where it shows you where to place it. Give me a second. Alright, so as a place where you need to place your magnetic snaps, I'm going to fold it. And then add it right here. Now, be mindful. Just put an X so I know exactly where to put it. When you go to use your magnetic snaps, some don't come with washers, some do. So we're going to add the male part. I believe this is the male. So we're going to add that first. I'm just separating them. And then the washers also come with them. So make sure you have that. take them all out because I need both parts. So I have the male and the female portion, and then the washers. So I'm going to place the washer down and mark the center. I'm going to do the same to the other side and make sure that they actually clip together. So before you do any like final stitches, you need to make sure that they actually clip in place. Alright, so I don't know if you guys can see here that little mark there and there. If it's not viewable, make sure you use the marking pin which you can see. I can see it, but it may not be viewable on the camera. Okay, so you're going to take your seam ripper and you're going to clip the two. Make small notches instead of big notches. It's better to make small ones instead of big wide ones, and they slip or they move in place. Alright, so I'm going to take, I don't even know why I have 4. It's supposed to be 2, but okay. Better to be safe than sorry. Alright, so you're going to add them both. Now before I actually close them up, I'm going to do the other side to see if they actually clip together first. So I'm just going to place these right here. Put these back because I don't need these two. I'll save it for a different project. And these two. So, like I said, before I close them, I want to add the other part here and then put them together to see if they actually close neatly and together, and if they match up exactly. So I'm going to do the same thing again with the washers. Because you don't want to close them up and finish both and then they don't match up evenly. Alright. So I'm going to take my seam ripper again. Remember, small cuts, not big ones. Alright, so I'm going to insert the female, I think. I'll get it together. And I got these magnetic snaps from Wholesale Fabrics and Hardware, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Wholesale. Alright, so before I close them up, I just want to see if they actually snap in place and they're even. Alright, so they are even with an exception of this. It's a little higher, but that's going to be cut off anyways because when we add the binding, I'll just cut off some of the top. But make sure they snap in place and you have them together. Okay? So now, be careful. We got to unsnap them. Ooh, they don't want to separate. Well, anyways, I'll do them over again. Well, let me close this one then. These are some hard ones. want to leave or separate. That's fine. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to put this back. But like I said, if you see a tremendous difference, then yes, I would try cutting it again and put it in the right place. So before I do anything or add the washers, I made a cup full of these. These are when you want to protect the fabric from the magnetic pieces. So I'm going to do the same thing I did. Draw a line with the washers, and then I'm going to cut a slit in it with the seam ripper, and then apply it to the back before I add the washers, because you want to protect the fabric from scratching or ripping with the magnetic snaps. And you do the same thing with purse feet as well, which I didn't mention in the beginning because I do have them. They're going to be rainbow feet, rainbow purse feet, and I'll show you once I get to that point. So I'm going to do all of them first and then show you on the camera what I'm doing. Alright, so this is what I'm doing. Hope it focuses. It's the light. And then you're going to take the seam ripper and cut a slit like we did in the actual fabric. And then you're going to replace it on the back of each. I'm going to do this for all four, but I want to show you what it looks like on one of them. Alright, so this is what it's looking like. So then I'm going to add the washer, and then I'm going to use my seam ripper to help me bend it. You could either bend it in or out. It's personal preference. At least that's what I know. No, I need to add my washer. Almost forgot that. Washer, washer, washer. Don't forget not to add your washer. But some people add them without the washers too, so it's not a big deal. And I'm pressing it hard, so that means it closes good. So this is what it looks like. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing to the other one. Put your slits in. Oh, and this is a piece of Peltex. I apologize. This is like when I cut my Peltex for the original design, and whatever's left over, I use those scraps to make these little pieces. So don't always throw your scraps away. They're useful for other projects as well. So slip in your little Peltex. Do not forget your washers, because I almost did on that one. And if you don't have washers that come with yours, it's okay. You still have the Peltex to protect it. Alright, so just want to show you this is the other way you could have pressed them down. So that's just two ways. So once again, I'm going to just try to put them together. And just that little piece up there that's kind of hot, but that's fine, because that can be taken down. Okay, so those two are completely done. So now we are going to work on these things together. The bottom piece and add the purse feet. So give me a second. Let me get that really quick.